Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Ever lie awake at night wondering if there's just some massive gaping hole in your finances that you completely missed? We all have that creeping anxiety about our money, right? No matter how much we're actually earning. Well, today we are looking at a really clever tool designed to instantly cure that financial anxiety. It offers a totally frictionless financial checkup, and it's called Niyamfin. So think about it. What is hurting your money the most right now? Usually, finding the answer to that question means feeding your entire life story into some data-hungry calculator. You know the ones. They demand your email, your phone number, maybe even your mother's maiden name, only to instantly spam you with ads for the rest of eternity. It is incredibly frustrating. But what if there was a privacy-first way to get that exact answer without surrendering your personal data? And that brings us to a very important number today, 4. Niyamfin is built specifically for Indian households, and it promises a complete financial health check in just about 4 minutes. And the best part? You don't even need exact, down-to-the-penny figures. Rough numbers are perfectly okay. In literally just those 4 minutes, it gives you an objective score across 5 critical areas: your savings, your emergency cover, debt, retirement, and insurance.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is exactly how we're going to break down this frictionless tool and the math behind it. First, we'll cover the financial blind spot, then we'll look at 5 vital money ratios, followed by insights for every stage, and finally, we'll unpack privacy and complete transparency.
Section 1. 5 Vital Money Ratios. So, to compute your financial health score out of 100, Niyamfin relies on established, widely cited personal finance benchmarks. Let's start with the savings ratio. Now, while saving 10% of your income is really just the absolute floor, just to keep your head above water, a 20% slice, or even more, is the healthy target. That's what you should be aiming for to build a truly solid foundation. Next up is your emergency cover. This asks a terrifying but absolutely necessary question. How many months could your liquid savings cover if your income literally just stops tomorrow? The recommended benchmark here is typically 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Though, keep in mind, if you're self-employed and your income fluctuates, you're absolutely going to need a much larger safety net than that. And this brilliantly illustrates the delicate balance of borrowing. We're looking at the EMI to income ratio. A healthy loan load means keeping your monthly EMIs below 35% of your total income. But if you start drifting into that risky zone, where you're committing more than 45% of your income to EMIs, yikes! You're carrying a really heavy debt burden, and that can cause severe cascading financial stress if your income ever takes a hit.
So, the crucial point isn't just how much debt you're paying off monthly, it's how much of your actual life is financed by it. That is your debt-to-asset ratio. To put it in plain English, what portion of everything you own is actually funded by debt? The healthy target here is to stay below 50%. Hitting that mark means you actually own the majority of your assets outright. Basically, you own your stuff, not the bank. Finally, we have the liquidity ratio. The healthy target here is having roughly 12 to 25% of your assets accessible quickly. It's kind of like a tightrope walk. If your liquidity is way too low, you might be forced to sell off assets at a loss in a pinch. But if it's too high, your cash is just sitting there, quietly losing its purchasing power to inflation.
Section 2. Insights for every stage.
Now let's be real. Financial health isn't some static, one-size-fits-all metric. Our priorities totally shift over time. Think about year 1. You land your first job, and the focus is just on building sustainable saving habits right out of the gate. By year 5, maybe you're married, you've got an EMI, so suddenly monitoring that debt-to-income ratio is absolutely critical. Fast forward to year 10, maybe there's a family with kids in the picture. Now, finding gaps in life insurance and emergency funds takes center stage to protect them. And eventually, around year 30, when you're nearing retirement, the whole focus shifts to estimating if your corpus will actually fund the comfortable life you've envisioned.
What is incredibly cool about Niyamfin is how it actually delivers these insights. You get plain English observations. It completely avoids all that confusing, gatekeepy financial jargon. But the real magic? The what-if sliders. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a dynamic playground for your money. I highly encourage you to imagine playing with your own numbers using these sliders. You can see the instant impact of your choices. Like, hey, what if I save just a tiny bit more each month? Or, what if I aggressively pay down this loan? You get to see the results immediately.
Section 3. Privacy and complete transparency.
So whenever we talk about using personal finance tools online, we have to talk about the massive elephant in the room: trust. And Niyamfin tackles this with some serious security superpowers. Let's rapid fire these. There is absolutely no login required. None. They never ask for your PAN, your Aadhaar, OTPs, or bank credentials. There is zero product selling and absolutely no ads inside the checkup, which means they are not earning commissions off you. Every single calculation uses a totally transparent, publicly documented methodology. No secret black boxes here. And it was built right in Bengaluru by a personal finance enthusiast named Harvansh Tiwari. So there's no hidden institutional agenda trying to push you into a sale.
Now, what's really interesting about this comparison is the stark contrast. Think about typical calculators out there. They drag your data off to remote servers, they demand IDs like PAN or Aadhaar, and their ultimate purpose? It's always to sell you a financial product. Niyamfin just flips the whole script. Your data stays right in your browser, zero IDs are needed, and the sole purpose is strictly educational.
And their core philosophy? I mean, this is literally a mic drop. Nothing is stored on our servers. Your data stays in your browser session only. All your sensitive personal financial inputs are calculated locally, right there on your own machine. Your data is never sent away. The second you close that browser tab, poof, it is gone forever.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway from today's explainer. Are you ready to identify your financial blind spots? Because you now know that there is a totally free, completely private, browser-only tool sitting right there, ready to give you profound clarity in just about 5 minutes without ever compromising your personal data. So the only question left for you is, are you going to take that simple, frictionless step toward true financial clarity?